is Joel Crandall. I'm the owner, creator, and developer of the Voila method. I'm an exercise physiologist and kinesiologist, also do massage therapy. What I want to talk to you today is something that you may not have heard of, or it's pretty uncommon. It's called the os trigonum. And what the os trigonum is this little bone right here in the back of the talus. And it's a free-floating bone that actually doesn't attach back to the talus, if it attaches back at all. Some people, it stays free-floating, but if it attaches back, usually around in our adolescence, so our teenage years, it will fuse back up. Just recently had a client come to me, and theirs never fused back. So now he's middle 50s. And he's been starting to have pain in the last 3 or 4 years. There is a surgery for it. However, doctors really don't like to do the surgery on it until you get older. And one of the reasons is it's a very risky kind of surgery in that there's a lot of nerve and whatnot in here, and it can cause a lot of problems if they make a mistake. So they prefer to do it at a much later age. The os trigonum. It's also called the Ballet Dancer Syndrome because it's a big injury in ballet because they're up on their toes a lot. Unfortunately, I can't move this tibia back where I'd like to show you the severe plantar flexion. But for ballet dancers, they're up on their toes a lot, so it can break off this bone here, the os trigonum. So that's why it's called Ballet Dancer Syndrome. It also happens to soccer players. They kick the ball and they might catch too much turf, and that can break it off. Another sport that you might see this in would be baseball players, and in baseball players it's a little different. It's when they hit the bag in the front, and you see this quite often, especially when they're going to first base and they're really trying to lunge to get to the base. They'll hit the front of a bag. And what happens, their body weight comes in and pushes, and it can break this off as well. So ballet dancers, soccer players, your baseball players, this is an injury that you'll typically see. The other thing that the doctor can do just to help alleviate some discomfort is to just shoot the area with cortisone. But as we know, you can only do so many shots of cortisone, and you're just going to soften the bone up. But his never attached, my client's never attached. And so a couple of hours before he came to see me, I think he picked up a couple of buckets or something, and he turned and went to put them away, and his ankle started hurting. So with the Voila assessment, what I have found is his talus likes to creep forward. So since this bone is not attached on him, there's nothing holding it back here because it slightly comes over the calcaneus, where the calcaneus comes up. So it has a tendency to slide forward. So what we do in his workouts is we put a band right across his talus. So when we do squat, he has this talus creating stability in his talus to keep it from pushing and scooting forward. So that's one of the things we do with that. And when we're doing, real gentle ankle raises, we don't go into extreme ranges of motion with them. Once we go into like a calf raise, we also have that band on there just to keep that talus backward. And the other day when he came in, he was getting nervous because he hasn't been able to squat in a few years, and now we got him back to squatting again. He thought we're gonna go back to square zero. But we just did this because I wanted to still work out with him, just not put a lot of stress through the area. So we used the band. And about halfway through the workout, he goes, my pain is lessening in my ankle, which was great. And then after the workout, we just had him ice it down to try to keep that inflammation down as much as possible. But the os trigonum, Ballet Dancer Syndrome, your soccer players and your baseball players might be an injury that you'll see there the most. So just something I want to talk about because you may not have ever heard of it, or you may not have a client that has that, but it's something that you can look at. Thanks so much.